best friend to worst friend. How does this happen? We get into a relationship and we're in the infatuation and honeymoon period. But two major things happen to us over the course of a relationship. In that period, we think they're wonderful. They can leave the toilet seat up. They can squeeze the toothpaste at the top hand. We think it's cute. And then somehow, over a period of time, they turn into our worst friend. Now we're arguing over the three main topics: sex, money, or kids. Or maybe you don't think it's those things. Maybe you think it's about who's right and who's wrong. But what happens is, over a period of time, something called archetypes starts to cut into your relationship. Now, this is a Freudian term, so it's out of psychology. But what it means is it's a packet of behavioral patterns that you run in your relationship. Think about it. When you're first in the relationship, you're boyfriend, girlfriend. You get married, and suddenly you turn into husband, wife. Now, even if you don't actually get married and have the piece of paper, this still happens when you move in and make that deep commitment to each other. Because your brain goes, okay, I'm in a deep commitment. How do I do this? And guess where it's going to go to get that point of reference? Of course, husband, wife. You're going to look at those role models you had early on in life, and you're going to run unconsciously those patterns. And secondly, you change when you have a child now from husband, wife to mum and dad. Same thing. Where do you think you're going to get those patterns from? And so the relationship substantially changes. Now, other things affect it, of course, as you go further into the relationship. You move through the various stages of a relationship. If you haven't seen my video on that, it's pinned to the top of my TikTok profile. And it's also on Instagram as well. So go and check that out. And as we go through those stages, naturally the relationship changes. We're not as committed as we first were. We get distracted with work and kids and other things in our life. We don't spend the same amount of time together either. And that person that was our very best friend in life suddenly becomes our very worst friend in life. But the good news is that that can be reversed. You can change that around back to being in love. Why? Because people put those things, those topics that we argue over, sex, money, kids, being right, first. See, in our culture now, we are no longer together for the strength of the cultural push, meaning religious pushes used to keep us together, and then cultural pushes. It was a disgrace to get divorced. It was very unacceptable. Now, the only reason that we're together is for the strength of our connection. And if that connection is not strong, we will leave. The good news, as I said before, is that you can bring back that connection. Because once we make the strength of our connection the important thing, no topic can get in the way. That becomes the primary thing. And we don't break connection to argue over those topics. We keep the connection in place and then argue over them. Now, these concepts are evident in our premier relationship code event that we run both in the United States and here. A highly accessible event that will turn your relationship around, where you can have that best friend back. If you'd like that, one simple way to do it, to find out more, book a discovery, recovery call with us, and we can show you and speak to you about how your relationship. What have you got to lose, right? 30, 40 minutes of your time. That's about it. What can you gain? Everything.